What's happening, guys? Welcome back to the FordTechMakuloco channel. It's a beautiful sunny day here, finally spring 2020, and we have the doors open, so I look a little whited out, but it's beautiful weather. Today we have a little Mustang action here for you today. Unfortunately, we're not doing any engine work, but we do have a clicking noise in the dash. So we're going to show you today how to replace the floor door actuator, and we're also going to show you where the rest of them are at inside of there to kind of give you a general idea of what may be clicking inside your dash and how to replace them. They're all pretty easy to get to. You don't need to pull a dash or anything. It's great. So this procedure is going to apply to the 2010 through 2014 Ford Mustang. This one right here for our demonstration vehicle is a 2011 Mustang. Let's get to it. But first, you guys got to hear how this thing sounds. He has a Flowmaster exhaust system on here, X-pipe, and I think the cats are missing. Let's hear it! Whoa! All right, first things first, let's show you where all these actuators are at so I can help you identify which one's clicking and which one needs replacing. So what you're going to do is come over to the passenger side, and you're going to pull your glove box down. You can pull it all the way down by pulling in on each one of these sides to get past the stops, and then it'll just drop down like that, give you tons of access up inside of here. So once you get inside of here, you look up, you see this one right here. That's the air inlet door actuator. This one does not require calibration. And then we come over here, and there's one right here you can see behind this brace. That's the floor door actuator. And then just to the right of it is the right-hand temperature blend door actuator for dual climate control systems, or just your temperature blend door actuator that controls both sides on standard manual climate control systems. So you can see them, the screws are right there. They're 8mm. And there's usually 3 of them, like you see right there and right there. So they're all very, very easy to get to. You just need to identify which is which. Now, if you have dual climate control systems, you got a fancy Mustang, the driver's side actuator is going to be up above the accelerator pedal. And we go in that spot. It'll be right here in this area. It'll plug into there and bolt in right here, if you have dual climate control. If you have manual climate control, like you see here, just like that, then the right-hand one I just showed you is going to control both sides. Now, how do you identify which is which? Well, you get in here, and a lot of times the keys are missing, so you need to go find those. Oh, here they are. You'll get in here, okay? And as soon as you put the key in and turn it to on, you'll hear them clicking a lot of times. What you need to do is get in there while it's happening and put your hand on it and identify which one is actually popping and clicking inside of there, okay? Now, if it doesn't do that, what you can simply do is start messing with all these different buttons on here. So you have your panel and defrost button right here, and of course floor. Once you push it, you want to let it go through and actually move the actuator to the end of its travel. You can see we just moved it right there, and it's clicking. And I moved it again to a mix. The point is to identify it by getting the actuator to move to the end of its travel and get it to start clicking. It doesn't matter how you do it, and that's how you identify which actuator it is. Don't rely on this, because like if I put it on defrost right now, it'll start clicking. It's not the panel in defrost actuator, it's the floor actuator. So you need to go over there and put your hand on it when it's happening. Same thing with temperature. Temperature actuators are more common, so you'd come over here and you would slowly adjust it, allowing it to move, and listen for any kind of clicking. And it may only click at a certain point on here where that tooth is broken inside the actuator. And usually the noises occur towards the end of the travel on here. See, we're not hearing anything from the temperature blend door actuator. It's definitely a mode door actuator or the floor actuator. So let's go over once again, and I'll show you exactly how to figure it out. It's pretty simple, but these actuators are in close proximity, so you want to make sure that you have it. So we'll go ahead and turn defrost off. And we'll turn it back on. And I can feel it. Boom, 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 boom. In there. So I'll turn defrost off again. And then back on. And you kind of feel the other one. I can feel a little bit, but I feel it really hard hitting from this one right here. And that's because multiple actuators move when you change the mode, okay? So that's why this one's clicking when we're hitting defrost, but it's actually the floor door actuator that has failed on there. So at this point, look at that. 1, 2, 3 bolts on there. Pop the actuator and the clip on there, and the thing pulls right out of there, and we can swap it out. All right, look at that. I have you propped up pretty good actually here to get a good view inside of the dash. So like I said, today we're going to concentrate on showing you how to replace the floor door actuator, which is this guy right here. But of course, you can see everything's pretty accessible inside of here. The mode inlet door right there. And of course, back there, right next to this one, is the temperature blend door actuator, which is the one that's probably going to fail the most, gets used the most. So if you're changing the temperature blend door actuator, I recommend pulling this one out first, and then you get better access to get it out of there and get to the screws and all that stuff. Now on this one right here, you can see all the screws, 1, 2, and 3. They're pretty accessible. So this bottom one right here is a little hard to get to. You could probably use a standard 8mm socket on there and a 1/4-inch drive. I had this special tool, this slim design ratchet with a bit in there, 8mm, that I cut the shank on there down all the way so I can fit it in there flush and get in these tight spots. That's what I'm going to use for this lower one right here. And then the top ones, this one and this one, they're very easy to get to with a regular 1/4-inch ratchet and long extensions like this with a universal at the end. You can get up in there, get it on there, and get it loosened. All right, so the first step is to remove the electrical connector right here. It has a little red locking tab. So you're gonna pull that down, and then you're gonna depress the locking tab on the connector, and then the whole thing will come out of the way. Kind of pull it down like that, and then you press in the black tab on there, and the whole thing will come out of the way. Get that tucked out of the way. And we just need to concentrate on the screws now. Now the other option for this lower one, it's a little tight to get to, but it's not too bad, is an 8mm flex head, good old Gearwrench. Same thing, you get up in there, one finger holding it, pressure against it, and you just ratchet with the other one. It'll be hard for you guys to see this, but that is the idea. With this bar in the way, enough of a pain, but it's doable. This actuator is definitely one of the easier ones to do in the vehicle. So I have it on there right now, and I'm just kind of ratcheting it down. You guys can kind of see. Make sure you're going the right way. Just gotta keep the tool on there. Hiya, hiya, hiya. My Sharona. Oh, she came out pretty easy. My fingers just start getting smashed against there. I just kind of reach up in here and unscrew it the rest of the way. My fingers. Okay, now the top one's here. Now once you pull these bolts out, it's not going to fall on the ground or anything. You're not going to lose it. you're not gonna lose the actuator, I mean. So don't worry about it. Just get these up in here and aligned. I know, I'm in the way. You guys get it though. Hardest part of doing this is trying not to be in the way of the camera for you guys there. You know, for some of these, you could almost use, you know, I wonder if I could even get my 1/4" Milwaukee on there. Get it straight. Use all kinds of tools to get in here. And then this last one should be the easiest one. Save the easiest one for last. Bye-bye. All right, so at this point, give it a little wiggle, and it'll come up and out of there. Now this one, I can just grab it, and you can hear it. Whatever's broken inside of there, usually the teeth inside of there. Now, it's always a good idea to disassemble this, pull the shaft out of here, take it over, stick it in the side of the box there, line it up, and kind of move that shaft back and forth manually, end to end, to make sure that it's not binding in there anyway. You don't want to damage the new actuator. All right, so here is the new actuator from Ford. Yes, you want to use the Motorcraft actuators only. Don't use Dorman. Don't use any of these weird aftermarket cheapo brands. You'll be back in here within a month. Use the Ford one and be done with it. So, same thing, it goes back in, only splines one way. See, it's kind of get it up in there. One side has a flat on it. And you just kind of get it up in here. And aligned. Let's see, the flat's at a partial angle on there. So what we'll do is we'll get it up in here. And it should fall in just like that. There's going to be a locator down there. It'll help you line everything up. It'll line the actuator and all the bolt holes. And it'll kind of hold it for you at the same time. Okay? At this point, you just need to get each one of these back in. Each one of these screws. Now, once all 3 screws are back in, everything's aligned, looks good to go. Don't forget your electrical connector right there. Click it in till it snaps, and then pop that red secondary locking tab up, and that's it. So you can go ahead and test it out. But first, we need to calibrate the system. The last step of the process involves pulling fuse 15 from the smart junction box located in the passenger side footwell area here. Just pop off the trim here, get it off to the side, and then we can go ahead and get access to the smart junction box. You see all this tape and stuff they have over here? This is because they have lots of water leaks over here in the past years, and they ruined the smart junction box. They came up with that little cover to, fix it. So you just go ahead and grab the cover off here. Yeah, clamp in on both sides. Find out which is fuse 15. Second from the last on this side, it looks like. So that'd be this one. This would be the very, okay, there it is. It's a 10 amp. And you can make sure that you pull the right fuse by going ahead and putting the key back in. And see if the control head powers up. Nope, totally dead. So at this point, we know we pulled the right fuse. You're gonna let it sit for 1 minute so it can depower inside of there. And then when you reinstall that fuse, when it initially powers up, it's gonna do a 30-second calibration of that new actuator we just installed. And that's the last part of the process. Once that is done, you just simply go through once again and go through your different options on here once it's all powered back up, and make sure that there's no more clicking in the dash there and everything is functional once again. That's all for now. Hope you guys enjoyed the video and learned a little something new. I'll see you guys next time.